What's going on, everybody? Bobbybarks here, and welcome to my review for episode 9 of HBO's The Last of Us. This is your spoiler warning, so if you are not caught up on the show and watched episode 9, please be aware that there will be spoilers going forward. When The Last of Us began in January, the early hope surrounded the supposed computer game curse. The fact that the series had finally managed what so many other TV shows and films had failed to do and captured the spirit and magic of the game felt like a cause for celebration. But after 9 weeks of fungus, zombie fights, gut-punching moments of heartbreak, and a thrilling exploration of the very best and worst of humanity, merely comparing The Last of Us to other computer game adaptations feels like a travesty of an undersell. For me, Season 1 of The Last of Us ranks alongside some of the greatest TV shows of all time. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey gave the show a beating heart and frequently broke ours. Episode 2 with Tess, and Episode 3 with Bill and Frank, and even Episode 5 with Henry and Sam could all make an argument to be considered among some of the best hours of TV you'll witness. And in this week's finale, the series managed to twist and reconfigure the Ellie and Joel dynamic and pose some hefty philosophical questions which are going to have us anxiously counting down the days for Season 2. The past 8 episodes have got us well versed in heartbreak. We thought we were well drilled for the finale. But for those of you that have not played the game, the closing 15 minutes will have probably pulled the rug from underneath you again. After being captured by Marlene and the Fireflies, Joel discovered that their plans all along with Ellie were to remove part of her brain and create a cure for the virus. Marlene and the doctor had made Ellie comfortable and sedated her, but had not given her the option to choose whether to sacrifice herself to save everyone else. Joel was unable to stand down and let Ellie die, ruthlessly taking out the Firefly soldiers, doctors, and even Marlene herself to protect the girl he has grown to love just as much as his daughter. His regrets and pain over Sarah and love for Ellie overwhelmed him. The rationale and emotion-free approach of the Fireflies couldn't change Joel's mind, as he methodically killed everyone in his way. Even as a wounded Marlene begged for mercy, Joel returned to deliver a final shot to prevent her coming back to find them again. As Ellie slowly woke up from the anaesthetic, Joel lied to Ellie that the doctors had tried various experiments on her, but they had all failed to deliver positive results. He also lied to her that there were more people like her, immune from the disease. He added that raiders had attacked the hospital, killing all the Fireflies and Marlene. Ellie's far too perceptive and knows Joel too well these days to believe everything he tells her. She's also noticed how, after finally talking about the regret and pain he has lived with since Sarah's death, he has started comparing her to his daughter. After making him swear that he's telling the truth, Joel looks at her in the eyes and swears that it's all true. The finale ends with Joel delivering a whopping lie to the most important person in his world. Ellie looks crushed by the weight of everything that has happened. She's deflated by the failure to find a cure, the sense of guilt she feels about Riley, the extinguishing of a glimmer of hope, and she's also struggling with a sense of unease around Joel. The fact that Ellie even asked Joel to swear he's telling the truth suggests that she doesn't entirely believe his story. That unease in their relationship, the recalibration of their dynamic, and the huge moral questions that this episode posed around family, love and selfishness will keep us busy while we twiddle our thumbs waiting for Season 2. At the start of the episode, we watch Joel attempt to care for Ellie in a new way. After Episode 8's meeting with the cannibals, Ellie needs emotional support rather than a physical warrior. The fierce protector side of parenting comes easy to Joel. The comforting side feels a little less natural, but there is something fuzzy and heartwarming about his clumsy attempts to make Ellie smile again, whether it's getting her to reopen her joke book or challenge her to a game of Boggle. But after the hospital shootout, the first cracks in their relationship begin to surface. Joel's outpouring about Sarah and the pain he's lived with ever since she died frees him up to speak more truthfully about his emotions as it lifts a weight off his shoulders. But that sense of Joel being a surrogate father brings a new awkwardness to their previously unshakable bond. We suddenly get the sense, as does Ellie, that Joel could potentially be using her as a crutch to help him through his pain. You can see the early signs of unease from Ellie. She's always known about Sarah, but now Joel is finally opening up about his daughter, and you could forgive her for feeling like a replacement figure. In the finale's cold open, we meet Ellie's mum, played by Ashley Johnson, who famously played Ellie in the original computer game series. so it feels like a more than appropriate bit of casting for the cameo. The short story reveals that Ellie's mum was best friends with Marlene and that she was bitten by an infected as she was giving birth. The computer game's creator Neil Druckmann revealed that this story was originally designed for the game. I had written a short story after we had shipped the game already. It was supposed to be an animated short, but it fell apart and didn't come to be, he said. There was a moment where we almost made it as downloadable content, but it fell apart. In our conversations, I brought it up with Craig Mazin, and he was immediately excited by it, or as he would say, activated. The ending of The Last of Us computer game created a huge range of opinions from gamers and provided controversial with those who had grown so emotionally invested in Ellie and Joel's journey. The TV series is destined to create similar diverse views, most notably on Joel's actions in the hospital. Unwilling to let Ellie die for what the Fireflies position as the greater good of the world, Joel unleashes a still and cold onslaught on everyone standing in his way. The contrasting views of Joel and Marlene, who has her own distressing and personal connection to Ellie, leaves viewers with plenty to discuss. Is Joel still the show's hero, or was this an act of selfishness that goes against what Ellie would have wanted? It's one of the most famous scenes in the computer game, which has been highly anticipated by fans throughout the series, and the giraffes didn't disappoint. Despite Joel's best efforts to cheer her up with a game of Boggle, Ellie is still a shadow of her former self at the start of the episode. Her final shreds of innocence and optimism appear to have been burned by David and the cannibals. That is, until a herd of giraffes turn up in Salt Lake City. Bella Ramsey's cheeky smile, you can't deny the view though, her wide-eyed innocence and the stark contrast between the beauty of the animals and the wreckage of Salt Lake City made this a heart-swelling moment that partially remedied the bleakness of the episode. Despite all the pain, heartache and all the worst parts of humanity, the giraffes symbolise a world still filled with wonder that is worth fighting for. That is it for The Last of Us Season 1. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I have. I hope if you've not played the games, you do get an opportunity to go and play that game. The show draws very much detail and drama from the game, and there is a lot of comparisons with a more fleshed out story for the small screen. Thanks again to everyone that supported this series and my episodic reviews. Hope you all have a great day, and bye for now.